Hey, everybody, and we are live 1 minute late on me for our episode 218 of Hot Jobs, where Tara and I will share the latest and hottest jobs, internships, and career search advice for typically the military veteran and veteran associated community. Thanks for joining us, Tara. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I just realized that we kind of have like matching shirts on today.
Except yours has a zipper.
Yeah, I have the zip on.
Mine's just buttons.
Yeah.
So before we get into the topics of the week, I do want to thank our partners at Calm Seas Psychotherapy. Calm Seas was founded by Sharon Prager, their CEO, and the intent of Calm Seas is to be focused on providing mental health support to service members, veterans, military spouses, first responders, typically our entire community. And they are focused on providing support to us. So for the military and veteran community, a lot of it is covered by TRICARE. They are in specific states. So if you're interested in learning more, I recommend you check out Calm Seas Psychotherapy because everything we've done with Sharon and her team has been amazing all the way. Now, let's get into the topics of the week. So the first topic is about don't tell us, show us. And I've had two posts in the last couple of days. The first one, as I talked about, like typical buzzwords that you'll see on a transitioning service member or a recent veteran's profile. Things like servant leader, experienced, skilled, seasoned, executive, change agent, all of these words. And, I did that post to say, like, don't use these words. Like telling us you are a change agent doesn't check, oh, you're great. Let's get them in for the role. What we need to see is, have you done these things, right? Don't tell us you're experienced. Tell us how much experience you have and when you've done it, right? And so I did that initial post. I got some blowback from people saying, well, if you're going to tell us not to use these words, tell us what words to use. And so today I did a post. I said there are no buzzwords to use, right? Don't tell us you are something, show us. You should, instead of saying you're a skilled communicator, you should talk about your times communicating and what the results are. Instead of saying you're experienced project manager, tell us how many years of experience you have in project management, plus the type, size, and scope, right? It's not rocket science. We just got to get away from using these buzzwords and more into solidifying, really demonstrating your specific experience relevant to that role. So what do you have to think about this, Tara?
I think those buzzwords a lot of times are shortcuts and they're really easy to plug into any resume, right? Instead of diving a little bit deeper and probably taking a couple more minutes to talk about the type of experience or the type of skill that you have. So for instance, if it's like, I do really hate change agent, which I also really hate transformational leader, hate it. I actually have a friend who works in transformational healthcare. Like the department is called transformational healthcare. And I brought this up to him because I was telling him how much I loathe it. And he said, but I actually work in like that department. I said, can you tell me what you have transformed? And he listed 3 to 4 things and changes and policies and things that they have changed. And I said, as long as that's in there, then you don't ever have to say transformational leader. But even if you did, right, I might deduct a few personal points, but you have something to back it up. And that's what we're saying. Don't just put change agent and then never talk about anything that you've implemented that's new, whether that's like program, policy, procedure, software, change man. Like you have to back it up with the thing that you actually did.
And I'll add, it's kind of funny. People talk about change agent like it's an amazing thing, when the reality is it's like you're going to come in and try to change everything. And when I was at EY, the portfolio I led for the HR human capital consulting, one of the things we led was change management. Change is so hard that you have to manage that transformation, manage that change across the whole enterprise. And so just putting change agents up there, and it's also not a good thing. One other thing, my very first job, my very first week in my first job post-military, I saw something that was like not working in the company and that I thought could be resolved fairly easily. And so as a director of workforce management, I walked into one of the VP's office and I said, "Hey, sir, I know what his name is, but I don't want to call it out." I'm like, "Hey, got a minute?" He's like, "Sure." And I'm like, "Hey, I noticed XYZ and you could really just fix it pretty easily by doing this." And he looked at me, he said, "Oh, cool. You've been here less than a week. You're already going to fix everything, huh?" And I was like, "I don't have a rank on my chest anymore, so I'm just going to like back on out and realize that I've got to get stakeholder management. I got to get stakeholder buy-in. I got to have a what's in it for me for people. And I can't just go in and say, change this, or I'm going to change that." And so, I just encourage people to really think through, if you're going to use any of these like adjectives, which are like my trigger words, any of these descriptors, number one, I wouldn't do it. But if you are, make sure that you have the exact examples of when you've done it in your resume. Like, this is the problem I fixed. This is how I fixed it. This is the results. So, so then the other piece is just, for a leadership piece. Now, I will tell you, I teach all the generals and admirals when they transition as part of all the branches of service. And one of the things over the past year is every class, I ask a favor at the very end of the class, and I ask the generals and the admirals to force or require their E9s to come with them to finance, to budget, to contracting meetings, so they understand the business side of the military. And the idea is that you've got these exceptional leaders at the E9 level, the highest levels, that don't necessarily have business acumen. And so they're making different decisions that are not always resource-based decisions. And they're also, when they get out, that leadership acumen, that experience, that expertise doesn't translate to the appropriate level role because they don't have business acumen. Whereas if they sat in those meetings and understood how budgets were built, how contracts were managed, who the major contractors are, if they talked about all of the financial management stuff, they could transition sometimes quicker than their 06 or above counterparts because they won't have a cooling off period. And the reason I bring this up is because my friend worked at Amazon years ago, and he told me they have an app that every day would ping the junior employees, like the stalkers, whatever, and would ask how you feel about your manager right now. And if enough people made like a sad face or like, I'm not happy with them, HR would like go visit the manager and like talk to them. And I thought it was the most ridiculous thing originally. And now I'm like, well, it's actually kind of genius in a lot of ways, because, those, if 10 of those people are like, screw this, and they walk out, like the whole operation grinds to a stop and has significant impact. Same thing with project management. If you treat your people like crap, they could just be like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. Bye. Or if you make them stay late and they're happy to do so, they just charge you overtime, or in California, double time. You blow your budget, the company loses money, you're out of a job. And so I just want, our transitioning military to, it's not a negative. It's not to say that companies are not, they're only in it for the money or whatever. Well, they are. They need money to be able to pay your salaries, to provide you the equipment you need and the support you need to do your job. And so I just want people to start thinking that once you add that additional factor onto your leadership style, it all comes together really nicely, and you can have a huge impact in the private sector. Anything you'd add to that, Tara?
Yeah, I think you have to be aligned with the company structure as well. So like how you lead a team at Amazon is probably not how you lead a team at another Fortune 50 company, based on how the company is aligned, what their like mission and goals are, both short-term and long-term. And I think having exposure to different types of business practices is really important. No one expects you to totally learn contracts in one meeting, but you might have a little bit more of an understanding about the players and maybe what questions to ask. The scariest place to be is knowing what you don't know. That's also the place where change happens. So
Yeah.
having an understanding of like, you know what, I don't know anything about contracts. So maybe that's not for me, or I need to spend a little more time investing, personal time or growth in this area because I just realized all the things I don't know.
Yep, for sure. You could be your own change agent. So
Be your own change agent.
I do want to say, I'm not going to pull it up here, but hey, look, guys and gals, there is somebody on here selling resume services. I can't look at their profile to verify anything. Please do not pay for resume services for someone that's poking you on this platform. And don't send your personal information or your banking information to anyone unless you are verifying that they're a legit organization and you've gotten some reviews from people you know. I always recommend that if you're looking for resume assistance before you pay for anything, you should go to like Hire Here's USA, Onward to Opportunity. American Corporate Partners does a great job giving you mentors in your desired field from a Fortune 500 company that'll work with you for a year, including on your resume. USO Transitions, if you're still in or within 6 months of getting out, you can go to USO Transitions and their transition specialists will help you themselves or connect you to free local community resources. So please don't pay someone for a resume if you have the ability to get free support first. So, and then the last thing, then we got to get right into those jobs and opportunities is one of my trigger words is pick your brain, right?
Oh.
I share this because a lot of people will send messages saying I'm getting out or I'm having trouble getting a job. Can I pick your brain? I'd like to get on a call so I can pick your brain, or can I pick your brain? And what I have to explain to people, and I don't think they realize what they're asking. So, I have a full-time job. It's actually more than full-time as a business owner job to grow this business. The company pays my salary, right? So I have an hourly rate. I have 2 kids that I have 50% of the time. I do have to get some gym time, right? I have all the time I spend on LinkedIn. So what am I taking out to give you time, right? Am I taking billable time from my company, like, away? Am I taking away gym time? Am I taking away personal rest time? Am I taking away time from my kids, right? And then why would I do that for someone I don't know that just wants to have an unstructured conversation, right? Like we're just going to get along and chat for 30 minutes to an hour. And so what I tell people is you've got to be clear about the ask, and you've got to build to it a little bit. Like instead of I'd like to pick your brain, why don't you ask someone a specific question that is relevant to what they do and see if they'll answer that? Make it nice and easy. Breadcrumb your way to a conversation, or spend some time connecting with me, right? Following my content, engaging on my content, maybe sending me a message if something resonated with you, so I get used to seeing your name, your picture, your headline. And then at some point when we start responding back and forth and I know your name, ask a question or ask for a short call to discuss XYZ. That is not, can you get me a job? That is how we have to do it on here. You would never, it's the same thing with sending someone your resume. You'd never meet someone on the street and say, hey, oh my God, you work at Tenova? Here's my resume. Do you have a job for me? No, you wouldn't do that. So just, let's ease our way into this. Specific asks, nice and easy. Talk to them first. Build the relationship before you ask for something. What do you have to add to that, Tara?
I agree. I think it will be more productive on both ends. So even if you're the person asking, hey, I would like some of your time, it's going to be more productive for you, the end user, if one, you can establish that you do have a rapport with this person. So like you said, engaging with their platform first. Maybe it's attending a couple of hot jobs, interacting with the community, going to maybe a transition class with the USO that you lead. Maybe it's a newsletter, maybe it's office hours. You need to be a participant and learn a little bit before asking this. And then you need the specific ask. And even in business meetings, my question is always to the other party, what's the ask? Tell me what you need. I will tell you straight up if I can help you or not. I won't lead you astray. So I think it's like building a friendship or a relationship. And there's a great Curb Your Enthusiasm episode. If anyone is a fan of Curb, you will know the episode. And that's not how it's done. We don't ask for people's time for free if we're a stranger.
Right. Unless you have a lot in common. So like if I have someone
Sure.
that's like from my old organization that was at the sergeant major level or worked in the G3 at INSCOM, and they reached out and said that and just connected and then engaged a little while later, I'd spend some time,
That doesn't make them a total stranger. You
correct.
already had common ground.
But I'm not taking time from my schedule to have unstructured conversations with strangers. And every once in a while I take one and I remind myself, don't ever do that again. So it's like the people that reach out, hey, I saw you posted a job, I'd like to learn more. Well, follow the website, like go to the website, read about the job. And then if you have a specific question, send that specific question to the recruiter. Otherwise, apply and then follow up with a short message saying, I applied. I'm very much interested. If you have any questions, let me know. Like those are the ways to stand out. The people that just say I'm interested are just looking for easy buttons. So
or can you tell me about the position? No.
Well, they wanted you to connect to do the work for them. Basically, they want to make sure that they have a better chance before they invest any time in it. And I get it, but that's just not how it works. So, all right. So we have some jobs, I believe, correct?
We should do. Yeah, absolutely. I can kick us off if you like.
Yeah, please do.
All right. So I'm going to be talking about a couple of SkillBridge opportunities first. And I think this is a great time to talk about something that we talk about kind of often, and that we want to be open to all kinds of job areas and titles, right? Everyone wants to be a programmer or a project manager, but what does that really mean? And so one of our partners and one of our sponsors, honestly, Customer.io, they have a number of SkillBridge opportunities that have been going really well. A lot of interest. And I'm actually a little surprised to see a little less interest in the marketing operations specialist. And I know what you all are thinking. I don't have any experience in marketing and I don't want to do sales. Well, I think that if we dive a little deeper into this particular role, this is for SkillBridge, the marketing operations specialist is actually someone who looks at a lot of data. So Customer.io is a data automation platform system. And so they are responsible for sending messages to for their clients through in-app messaging and through text messages. And then they analyze the behavior data to make business decisions. So this person is going to be pretty data heavy. They're going to be using all kinds of platforms like Salesforce, just to name a couple, a Snowflake. I'm not familiar with a lot of these, Google Analytics, and they're going to be helping the executive marketing team make some decisions about the effectiveness and the efficiency of their messaging. So the ideal candidate would have some type of experience, but more than that, using some platforms like Salesforce, but more than that, someone who's highly organized, someone who is tech savvy, someone who has a passion for learning, and someone who can work as part of a team. Those are the non-negotiables.
Yeah, I mean, I love it, and it's remote, right? It's a remote internship and a remote follow-on job.
It's a remote internship.
They pay well. They have a good benefits package.
Amazing benefit package.
So I mean, people need to just take an opportunity to apply on something that might be interesting to them. You're basically looking at their marketing efforts and seeing what works and making recommendations to improve it. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
I think
someone
it's a great opportunity.
A great opportunity. Any type of analytic background, I think, would be great for this. Any type of intelligence background, maybe, because again, they're using behavior data in order to drive these business decisions. I would also encourage you to visit their website. This is something particular to Customer.io because they do an excellent job about talking about their company and their culture on their website. So I would definitely encourage that.
Perfect. I got a quick one. Any recommendations for a recent graduate of an executive MBA? Jorge, you're probably not going to like my answer, but I think you should have thought of that before you took the executive MBA. Number one, what were you taking it to get? And number two, I think you need to spend the time to tell us what you want to do with that executive MBA. So there are a lot of applications for MBAs or executive MBAs. But you have to figure out what you want to do and what aligns with your background. So I would encourage you to do a lot of informational interviews with people in industry to figure out where you fit based on your background and experience. So, Tara, you got some more?
I do. I have another SkillBridge opportunity. This one is going to be in person, and this is going to be in the Northern Virginia area with our partners at Maxar. So this is a customer solution engineer. So we're looking for someone that has a tech background, that knows a little bit about Python and Java, but more importantly, who can speak to the clients about solving their issues using the Maxar platform. So you are providing customer solutions to problems using the software. Most important, that these folks are good at engaging, that they want to solve problems, that they are able to talk to the customer intelligently, provide some technical expertise. You'd be trained on the software, of course, but someone who has a good tech background in order to solve some of the complex problems on their own. This does require a clearance. Ideally, a TS SCI, but TS will be considered for the right candidate. This is a SkillBridge with full-time opportunity to follow, with a great base salary and some additional options for bonuses. So they are really excited about this position, and honestly a little surprised we haven't seen as many applications. And I think it's because this does involve a little bit of sales, not something we need to be, we're not knocking door to door. We're just solving customer problems. We're solving customer problems and introducing them to the platform. So nothing to be scared about.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's in a lot of ways, the third rail for transitioning military is anything that includes some kind of sales in it, when reality, that is your rocket ship to success, is understanding the ability to drive revenue. It's not door-to-door sales, although I had a young man come to my door last week to sell. He was in the neighborhood. This is the second time he's done it in like 3 years, but he was in the neighborhood doing pest control. And I'm like, I already have someone. He's like, who is it? And he's like, I told him the company, and he's like, oh, they're our neighbors. We do X, Y. And then he went into his pitch, and I just sit there and listen. And I'm like, I love it. I love your pitch. I'm not changing at all. Zero interest, but please keep going. I'm really enjoying it. Like, he was really good at his job. I'm not that good on that, but what I am good at is when someone says they have a problem, I can find someone to fix it.
Yeah.
Or I can fix it. And that's the part of sales that I tell people when it comes to business development, relationship management, account management. It is building the relationships with your clients or potential clients, and then seeing they have issues and then fixing them. And honestly, that's what I did as a sergeant major my entire career. And so I recommend people keep an eye out for those opportunities and step into the discomfort. If you could become comfortable being uncomfortable, right? That is what, like you said before, that's when growth happens.
Yeah, especially for SkillBridge, someone is going to hold your hand and teach you. They don't expect that you know this, but they do expect that you have the willingness to learn. And I think if you have the right attitude, you can be really successful in this role. And these are also companies that want to hire transitioning service members. They are aware that maybe this isn't your expertise, and they want to train you. This is a great opportunity at some really great companies.
I love it. So I have a couple too. Is that all right?
Yeah, go ahead.
I have one. I know we're scheduling some interviews this week, but there's always a chance to get in a great candidate. And that is a member of our team as a project manager working out of Fort Meade. And so in this role, you'll be working out of Fort Meade. You need to have a full scope polygraph. So a TS/SCI full scope polygraph. No, a CI scope won't cut it. But if you have a full scope polygraph and you like just taking care of service members, right? This is going to be a great job for you. It's on site at Fort Meade. And what you will be doing is talking to transitioning cyber professionals and helping guide them through their transition, helping them figure out what their next career is going to look like, working with getting them into resources and basically taking care of them, making sure they get that next career as part of our program. So if you're interested, check out HireMilitary.us. Right, you can reach out to Tara if you have a full scope polygraph. That's the number one thing.
Have to.
We can't get that for you. You have to have a full scope polygraph. And if you don't know what a full scope polygraph is, you don't have one. It's a long, painful polygraph examination after having a TS clearance. And so that's that one. The other ones I have are our friends at DLA Finance. So they have SkillBridge and direct hire roles. The SkillBridge roles, flexible timelines, flexible duration, and the direct hire ones are still in a hiring freeze, but we're still collecting resumes. And those jobs are business analyst, financial analyst, financial liaison. Those are the ones that you could just have any kind of be able to tie it to some kind of finance, budget, accounting. One of our recent candidates, one of our recent SkillBridge interns, used being an ammunition manager for a brigade to go into a business analyst role, and he loved it. So Brad Theroff. So you could be business analyst, financial liaison. Those don't require specific degrees. You can go into a SkillBridge internship, and at the end, if the hiring authorities exist again in the federal government, they would love to bring you on to a full-time role. Other than that, we've got accountant and accountant systems that both require 24 credits, a bachelor's degree with at least 24 credits of either accounting or 18 credit accounting, 18 hours of accounting credits, and 6 hours of business law credits. And so the locations those take place in are Battle Creek, Michigan, which I can't not see. It's all over the place now in the federal government as a new hub. You've got Columbus, Ohio, Whitehall. You've got New Cumberland, PA. You've got home to the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles and soon to be Dallas Cowboy beating Week 1 Philadelphia Eagles, Philadelphia PA location. You've got Fort Belvoir. You've got Richmond, Virginia. And if you have account receivable experience, there are some opportunities in San Antonio, Texas. But you've got to have account receivable. If your resume doesn't have account receivable, you're not qualified. And so if you're interested, check out HireMilitary.us for any of those roles, SkillBridge or direct hire, and let us know with an application. All right. And with that, I don't see any questions on here aside from Jorge. Any last words that you'd like to share, Tara?
One, make sure you visit our website to check out all of the job details and requirements. We love to highlight as much as we can on here, but we only have 30 minutes. So make sure you go and check out those job posts. And of course, tailor your resume if you are applying. And then, Mike, you have office hours on Thursday. And if your guys are available, make sure you guys tune in. And of course, always sign up for our jobs pool or a SkillBridge pool to make sure you're getting the newest opportunities in your inbox as they are posted.
I think that's a great wrap up. I will see you all on my profile on Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.